So, welcome to our very first episode of Lock for the Culture. It's a podcast and it's also going to be featured on Loc-ish Radio. So, make sure you check us out at loc-ish.com so you can listen to the show. We have one of my hairstylist besties, Nerissa, on the show with us today. And we have my beautiful co-host, Miss Crystal, who's also locked out. So Nerissa, tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been doing hair.
My name is Nerissa, and I've been doing natural hair for about 10 and a half years now. I specialize in natural hair only, so I don't do any chemical services. I'm in Portsmouth, Virginia.
Okay, awesome. So, being as though that's all you do, I would consider you a specialist. So, you should be able to answer these questions and give some insight to the people that are listening. So the topic for today is lock extensions. We kind of talk all the time about different styling issues that we run into. But we're seeing a lot of lock extensions popping up everywhere now, whether it's the Insta locks or the wrapping the locks. And we actually saw this picture, this girl starting her locks, and they were all the way down, like during their floor length lock extensions. So I have an opinion on it. But what do you guys think about the whole lock extension revolution? And Crystal, you're locking too, and you don't have the extensions and you rocking out. So what's your opinion on them?
Um, I guess I'll go. I'm not a fan of lock extensions. I've been growing my locks for 10 years, so I just don't get it. I feel like if you just wait, your hair will grow. You don't have to add extra hair. And it's just like the fakeness of it. Like having locks is supposed to be like an authentic thing. And when you add hair that's not yours, it's like it's not real. Like there's the fakeness of it.
For me, I feel like because we're in this the world that we live in, everyone wants that fast and instant gratification. So that's where the extension comes in. Just like for people who have, a grain of hair short and then they get locks and they get lock extensions or individual or just braids, and then it's down to their ankle. So it's down to the ankle on Friday, and then come Wednesday they back to the inch of hair. So I feel like it's just because it's instant and it's there, and they just want that instant gratification of having longer locks.
I feel like it kind of takes away from like the journey itself. I feel like you appreciate your hair more if you go through the stages, especially because if you have locks, you know that it's definitely a journey, a process, and stages that you go through. And I feel like you're more appreciative of it. Now, I'm not saying that if you want to get locks just for a hairstyle that you shouldn't do that. That's fine too. But like you were saying, Nerissa, like it's about being authentic. It's about being your natural, wearing your hair in a natural state. So then adding the hair to it kind of takes away from it. And then there are also, I think, health risks to your hair. If you, excuse me, especially if you have short hair and you're getting lock extensions all the way down to your butt, what are we doing here? Like, what is going on? And you wonder why you don't have any edges. Like, come on. You know what I mean? So, do you see a lot of people coming to you? So you mainly do sister locks though, right?
No, I do all kind of locks.
Okay.
But I don't do any lock extensions at all. I haven't had anybody come to me that has lock extensions because I just don't deal with them. So I don't really have to worry about that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that, so for you, when you started your locks, what was the reason that you started your locks?
Originally, I just wanted to wear like the coil hairstyle. And then I was like, I wonder what I would look like with locks. And that's kind of how it started. I probably had like 3 inches of hair when I started mine. And I think maybe like 2 months in is when I really started like feeling like this was a journey and not just a hairstyle.
Yeah, I think a lot of people start and they're not thinking about the fact that it's a journey and you're going to go through that stage. Well, people call it the ugly stage. I just think that there is no ugly stage, but you go through that stage where there's one lock sitting like this and it just won't lay down, or you go through that stage where the ones in the back, they're constantly coming out. And if you're not prepared for that, then you're going to be ready to give up. I remember I had a client one time. I started her locks and she was like, "Oh my God, the people at my job are going to laugh at me." Mind you, she was a grown woman. I'm looking at her like, "Sis, are you kidding me?" She was like, I want to have to wear wigs." Um, so do you find that when you're starting locks that people have like an issue with, just being their authentic self with their hair, the way it comes out of their head?
Definitely. I've had people come in and say, well, I work in the office, or I have a corporate job and my hair can't look crazy. Um, I've started locks for a person and they say, well, my husband didn't like it. Like, okay, this is the first day. Like, we don't even know what it's going to look like yet. I've even had people just really, really want locks and then don't like the way they look in them. Like, they don't ever give it a chance for it to kind of grow on them. Because if you've never seen yourself like that, it's going to be different. So, yeah. And I think that contributes to the lock extension craze. It's like, they see lock styles from somebody that's had locks like 14 years. And they say, I want my hair to look like that. And the only way to guarantee that is with lock extensions. And, so in one day you can look like you've had locks your whole life.
And the funny thing about that is, me and Crystal, we have the, besties in business where we help business owners start businesses and things like that. And it kind of reminds me of that. Like, you're looking at somebody's year 5 and you wonder why you're not making $10,000 a month like they are. It's the same thing. Like, that person who has all those styles and their locks are all the way down their back, well, they had to go through the process. Even when people come to start their locks, they're like, "Okay, I want my hair like yours." I'm like, it's not going to be like mine for a long time. And, people just aren't ready for the process. Do you have any like tips or like the dangers of lock extensions too, just to try? I mean, because if you want lock extensions, that's your business. But I just think people should be aware, like if you have somebody that's doing them and, the parting isn't right, especially when you're going super long, you know what I mean? Like you could be causing some issues. But just so they don't have to hear me preaching about it, I'll let you what your idea is on on lock extensions and the dangers.
I have to be the bad guy. Um, so I think really the only issue that I have as far as the health of the hair is the weight. Depending on what type of hair they're using, that weight, and if their scalp is ready for that type of weight, if their hair is thin, if the hair was healthy before they started. I think that that's a big thing that people should pay attention to. And also the texture of their hair, because if your hair is one texture and the hair that they're using is something different, you know then what do? You know what I'm saying? As it grows out.
Crystal, would you ever consider lock extension?
Well, yes, I would, because I've only been locked a year and some change. And when people ask me why did I locked my hair because this is the only style I had never had. And I've had certain people, we shall name them, Nafisa and Leslie, who told me that I could not wear locks because I have hair commitment issues. I am the woman who carry wigs in my purse. One day I'll be Cleo, the next day I'm Clarissa, because I like the versatility of, having a wig. And in the winter, my neck was cold.
I know you
So
did
when I
not
said,
say that you carry wigs in your pocketbook. Like, you're not just going to like try to. You're gonna try to just say that and keep going. Why do you have a wig? Listen, I'm sorry. I'm ignorant to wigs. I know nothing about wigs, but carrying them in your pocketbook
because
is the norm.
I know wig wearers, and there's a wig in the purse and also a wig in the glove compartment, because some days, as a busy woman, you walk out the house sort of some kind of way, you forget you got your bonnet on, and you want to go into the grocery store, and you have a wig. And I coupon, so I have different wigs because they only let you use a certain amount of coupons when you go into the store.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, for the coupon situation. Okay.
And then
In the
sometimes,
bonnet
because
situation, you
sometimes
know
you
what?
leave out the house and it's cold, so you have the long wig on, and then the sun comes out and you don't want all that hair on your neck, so I got a short wig in my glove compartment. There's many reasons.
Okay.
And so we'll go back to my hair commitment issues, because one day I'll be braided, the next day I'll be short, the next day I'll be long. And when I decided to lock my hair, it was the only hairstyle that I had yet to have. And I've seen, and I still see, women that look beautiful and their hair is gorgeous and the locks look so amazing. And then I realized, because I was one of the people who thought that if you had locks, you were just condemned. You couldn't do anything else but locks. And I started seeing them with colors and coils and curls and up and down. I was like, oh, okay. And then as I started my lock journey, I was short. I ain't even gonna hold you. And I wore a turban for like a month, only because I knew that for me, I had to either wrap my hair, or I had to wrap my hair, or I had to have something else on it, because I would have been in the shower, like, washing it out, because that hair commitment issue, like I needed something different. So, and I did entertain the thought of lock extensions, but it also, for me, I have to really talk myself out of it, because I might want lock extensions today where I want it a little longer, not down to my ankles, but maybe my mid back. But then, like these, my locks now are long, and sometimes at night when it sneaks out underneath my scarf, I feel like it's a spider. So I have to,
Oh, child, yes.
so
Michelle said, Crystal is so creative and ready for anything. Love the wig change up. Um, Sabrina, this is my other hair stylist, sister, bestie, Facebook, auntie to the kids. She's jumping on. So we're just talking about lock extensions, the dangers of lock extensions, the commitment of locks and things like that. And I brought up the picture we saw where the girl had the lock extension all the way down her back. And I just think it's crazy. Now, not to be confused with the Insta locks that people are doing, because I actually think those are kind of cool. You can go in and you can instantly have that look. But you're adding the hair on and it's all the way down your back, and half the time the part ain't right. So just give us your opinion on lock extensions.
I have a love-hate relationship with lock extensions, only because it gives people too much of an instant gratification. So, like, when it starts getting fuzzy and they don't go through the hardship of getting the fuzziness. So when they get the length, they're not expecting it to still be frizzy and still be a mess. So they want it to always look a certain way at all times. And it's just like, that's not how it works. But they so used to it because they done skipped all that we've already like naturally gone through. That's probably the worst part of lock extensions, is the fact that they don't understand the process. Because I tell people lock extensions is length, but you're not skipping the actual process because your hair isn't locked.
Right.
So you still have to go through your hair actually locking before you really get the actual experience of locks, if that makes sense. So you just have the length to be able to do styles for, and still have to go through the frizziness, still got to go through the unraveling, still have to go through all that other stuff. But now you just have length and have to go through it. That's what I personally don't like about it, is it's just a whole nother process that you have to explain to them, instead of them just doing naturally from your hair.
Yeah, I think it benefits to going through the process, just like you said, because not only do you appreciate your hair more, but you've already gone through that and you understand. Because it's one thing to tell somebody, listen, your hair is going to be frizzy, it's going to unravel, keep it tied down, do this, don't do that. And then they have all this long hair, and they get out the chair and their hair is locked, and
they want to whip it around and do all this
right.
extra. But it's just like, you can't. You still not locked.
Yeah, so it's crazy. So tell us why you started your locks. Why did you start locks?
I don't have a whole touching thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I graduated high school and I was lazy. I did not want to go and pay somebody. My mom always did my hair. So I was leaving for college and I was like, I'm not going to pay somebody to do my hair and mess it up when I can mess it up myself for free. So I was like, I'm going to try locks and see how I like it. And I actually liked it and my hair was growing like crazy. So I stayed on with it. But I honestly don't have there was no enlightening moment. It was no, I wanted to get in touch with my answer. It was literally, I just decided I just wanted to lock my hair and not pay somebody to do my hair for me.
I don't know who this is saying this. Am I the only lock stylist without locks? And I don't think so. I see a lot of lock stylists.
I see a lot of them.
Does that matter to you? Like Crystal, if you were to go get your hair done and the person didn't have locks. Oh, it's Nadia, my other hair bestie. If the person didn't have locks, would you let them do your hair?
Absolutely not. Because I need like who started my starter lock, she she does locks. And I need for you to help me understand what's going on and what I need to do to maintain my locks. Just like I feel like if you're going to any hairstylist, that you want their hair to they look like they know what they're doing. Like you don't want to go with somebody who has, I don't know, edges starting in the middle of her head and she's saying, oh, I can help your hair grow. So yeah, you have to have, for me, I definitely looked out for someone who had locks, knew what to do, knew what to tell me as far as I couldn't shampoo it, why I couldn't shampoo it, conditioning, everything to my expectations for what my locks were going to be and look like moving forward. So
yeah, Nadia said some people come to me and be surprised that I have long weave. But she's like one of the dopest lock stylists in the city. So when I stop doing locks, I refer everybody to her because she's really good. So I mean, I understand that thinking, especially like you said, you talking about you grow edges back, but you don't have no damn edges. Like, really, I don't know. You know what I mean? Or like people who have those they sell those miracle drops or they sell hair products, but they, their hair is all raggedy. So I get it. And then when you go to hair school, they teach you that too. Like you got to have a certain appearance and keep up a certain persona so people will feel comfortable coming to you. But I mean, that's a very good point though. Like you can't be out here with no edges talking about, you grow edges. So I want to talk about starter locks really quick. I just want to give some tips for the people who are thinking about starting locks. What are your best tips for starter locks? And what they should ask a stylist when they're looking for a stylist. Nerissa, I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'm gonna mute myself so you can talk.
I think anybody that's trying to start locks, when you're looking for a stylist, try to look at all the pictures. Make sure that the person has pictures. Make sure that they know what they're doing. Go for a consultation. Don't just show up and say, I want locks today. And, you don't know what you're going to get. Ask as many questions as you possibly can to try to see if the stylist really knows what she's doing. And if you know somebody that has locks, maybe ask them who does their hair so you can get a referral or whatever. Just make an educated decision about starting locks and who's going to start them. I think that's the most important thing.
Sabrina?
I agree. Definitely do your research and don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask any question. Like no question is a stupid question because there's people that will avoid asking questions of people starting their locks, but then go to these groups and ask all these questions. And I'm just like, why didn't you ask the person that did your hair? And then it'd be like, well, they don't really know, or I don't. Go to somebody that you could trust and you could go with your questions. If you can't trust that person to answer your questions, or you don't trust what that person is telling you, then don't let them start in your hair. because they're gonna know, they're gonna be the ones that's doing it. If you're gonna constantly go to them, they're gonna be the ones doing it, maintaining it, knowing what to use, knowing what not to use, knowing your hair texture, knowing how they twist it, what products use, all that stuff. So all those questions that you have, don't be afraid to ask who's doing it. Definitely do consultations. Definitely make sure you have an idea of what you want, but have a realistic idea of what you want. Don't get caught up in the Facebook, Instagram lock extension look and be like, well, I want mine to look just like that, because there's no way we can guarantee that that's what your hair is going to look like, because you might have a totally different hair texture. So number one is the number one tip I have is be realistic with your starter locks, with anything like that. Be realistic. If you know you have 4Z hair, don't go looking for a 4A hair result, because it's not. Another thing, don't get caught up with length. That's why I just told a new client I had yesterday. They're so caught up in length. Well, how long is my hair going to be when I start? Well, I know it's shrinkage, so how long is it going to be when I start? Don't get caught up in the length, because once you get established, it's going to take 6 months to a year before you really start seeing what your hair could do being locked. So, and in that 6 months to a year, your hair could grow a lot. So don't get caught up in that length, and 2 weeks later, like, well, my hair isn't growing, or my hair isn't, 3 weeks later, my hair's not growing, my hair not. Definitely don't get caught up in the length. That's probably one of the best things. Do not get caught up in the length.
Especially because in 3 weeks you done put copper on your hair, and then 10 of your locks came out.
Yes. Don't get caught up in the hype. Do not get caught up in the hype.
Not you, Crystal. I'm talking about the starter Jones. Like, you just started, Jones. You got fresh coils. You know what I mean?
Next week you asking, I want auburn. Can I color it? And it's just like, no, wait. Like, color's gonna come. I've been every color underneath the rainbow. But I also do hair, so I know I do my own locks, so I know how to handle if it would unravel. Since I did my hair myself, I was able to fix it when it unraveled. But if you're going to somebody, then you're going to go to Walmart, pick up that Revlon, throw it in your hair, and be like, well, I wanted copper and I couldn't wait. And you wonder why your hair's not growing or it's not locking. You have to think about stuff like that. Like, I take back what my first tip is. Don't get caught up in social media hype about locks. That's my absolute top number one tip. Do not get caught up in that hype, because you're going to be disappointed, and then you're going to be mad at your loctician or your hairstylist and say that they don't know what they're doing because you got caught up in that hype.
Because a lot of people can make your hair look nice for the pictures, and then when you ashy and dry 4 days later, people don't see that. So, Crystal, is there anything you wish you knew about locks before you started your locks that nobody told you, or that you wish your loctician would have told you?
I wish that I was going to her before I started locking my hair, so I could understand my hair. Like, I am the 4Z in all the other alphabets, right? And my hair is very thick. And when I first entertained the idea of locks, I was like, well, I want sister locks. And they was like, yeah, bro, no, you can't do it. Your hair's too thick. It's not gonna, no. And then no one wanted to do it. And I wish I was going to her just so she could know my hair and we could learn my hair together and what to expect. Like, I had a couple of locks that didn't lock until like this year. Also understanding my hair, and just I wish I did that before. Like, went to them before to do just a regular, wash and condition and air dry, so she could know my hair, I can know my hair, so then we can understand what my hair would potentially go through being locked. And I wish that I would have locked my hair sooner, like after I had my son 7 years ago, sooner. I feel like that after I had my son, my hair was the healthiest versus 7 years later and the other things that I've done to it. So
Okay. Well, any last words, guys? I think this was. Oh, go ahead.
Another thing, I wish that she would have told me that my parts don't have to be even and my locks are going to be different sizes and grow differently, because I have some that are like, I have some that are a little thicker than the other ones, and not because of the parting, but just how my hair grows over my head. Like I have a thinner side, so the locks are a little lighter on this side versus on this side, and also in the crown area too. So that part.
Were you gonna say something, Sabrina?
No, I was just agreeing with her. That was another thing. Like I said, the social media hype. Everybody wants the straight parts, like box braids, and everybody wants even. And I was just telling somebody that works out until one day you might want to combine, and you might have these perfect parts, but then you combined one or two, and now you have gigantic parts where you have perfect parts. So it's better to have more natural parting and let it flow instead of having the structured thing that you can't interrupt if something happens, because then it won't look right anymore, if that makes sense.
Nerissa, any last words for the people who are watching?
No, not really. I don't have anything else to say. I guess the only other thing I was thinking about the locks is when you start locks, it's okay just to have them straight. You don't have to have a style on the first day that you get started locks. It's okay. They don't have to be braided. They don't have to be, all this other extra stuff. Just get the locks started and embrace where you are and enjoy the journey.
I definitely think it's a journey, and I think for a lot of women, it's the first time that they're actually ever like really seeing themselves. Sometimes like maybe it's like maybe they feel vulnerable. Like, you're used to whether it was the relaxer or whether it was the wigs and the weaves, and you put that on and it got the instant gratification when you saw yourself in the mirror, like, I'm done, I can go. But then you walking around with these little 3-inch coils, now you've realized your forehead is really big, or that you got a big head, and now you're like, oh shoot, I don't like this. I need some big earrings. I gotta wear, so it is a journey of self-love. I love locks. I tried the weave. I had to take it out the same day. I tried different styles, but it's just not me. That my locks are really a reflection of me. And I just kind of feel like now that I've been doing it for a while, when people come to me, you really have to want locks, not just because you thought that they were cute and you saw the style online. Because you're not going to stress me out, because you get frustrated. You're not going to stress me out. You know what I mean? Because you want your hair to be like this and that. I think if you're really ready for the commitment and you're ready for the journey, you kind of move different than somebody who saw somebody on Instagram, with those locks. So I thank you ladies for coming on. This was a great first show. I have so many more locticians to bring on, to give you guys some tips and some lock love. Where can they find you guys? I know, Nerissa, you're not taking new clients, but still give us your info in case, you change your mind.
Yeah, I probably won't change my mind, but I might. But I'm on Instagram, Natural Hair by Nerissa, and Facebook, Natural Hair by Nerissa. And yeah, that's it.
Sabrina, how can they find you?
I'm on Instagram under Locs of Love 325_ and Hair by Sabrina on Facebook.
And are you taking new clients?
I guess. I just came back from vacation, so I'm still in my adulthood again. Right now, I think my books are closed until I get everything back situated. But yes, if they contact me, I will accept. Like you said, nobody's gonna give me a headache. I got 3 kids. I don't need nobody giving me a headache.
Yeah. After you've been doing hair for a certain amount of time, it's like, what? You want me to put your hair in a ponytail and then make it what kind of part? I don't do that. I don't do that.
I don't do that.
And you can find us at LOC'Ish, LOC-ISH.com. I'm not taking new clients either, but I do have some hair products on there, some accessories that you can purchase, and you can listen to our new radio show on LOC'Ish Radio. We have music, we have podcasts, we have talk shows, we have sports, among other things that we'll be bringing to you. So thanks for watching and have a good evening.